This is my box of keys for all the cars in the car, and I can tell any one of them by the, something like this, the key ring. That's Mrs. Doyle. That's the new one. That's somebody else's car altogether. Oh, that's that one. That's the Peugeot. Obviously, it's a Peugeot key. That's somebody else's Peugeot key. The MG, this MG there, press release 45, and the Land Rover. Oh, and my Audi, which of course is a completely different key altogether. Nigel's key ring has Nigel on it. But this is the key ring for Harry Seacombe, which isn't very big. It's easy to identify, but I think I could easily lose that. So I could do the key ring. A key ring that makes it distinct from the others. Well, it just so happens I have a big pot of keys here. Over from the other cars I used to buy and just take apart, etc. Kept every one of them. I don't know where the lid's gone, so they might be going off by now. So I thought, why don't I find a key ring off of one of these? Surely amongst that lot there may be a nice key ring. Well, I've got one. And it's this. It's the key for a Renault Megane. Yeah, the one that you slot into the dashboard. Can't get much more distinct than that. So I'm going to pretend with my Rover 600 to other people around that I've got myself a Renault Megane. Perfect. It's big, it's not heavy, it's easy to find, and the best bit is it doesn't even need to work. Which it didn't, and that's why I have it in the first place. All of the practicality, the lightweight credit card shaped Laguna keyring, but with none of the heartache, misery and letdowns. Pity that won't open it really. Anyway, normally the first thing I would do when taking out a new car, not actually new, would be to wash it, make it clean. But of course this car was cleaned before it was driven up here, and it's not been on the road since. But it didn't stop it from getting a layer of sand on it. And as you can see, the only thing is, washing the car in this heat is not necessarily a good idea. It is definitely bad for the paint, if the paint of course is vulnerable. And you're expecting me to do a time-lapse shot of the car being clean now, aren't you? But I'm not going to, because this paint is 31 years old, and the bit that isn't 31 years old isn't as hard as the bit that is 31 years old, and I don't really want to cause any damage to it. Instead, a week ago I spent quite a while vacuuming and steam cleaning the carpets. Not that they were that bad, I just thought, why not? I'd like it to be as nice as possible. But there's a bit on the headlining that is a bit grotty, so I'm going to deal with that. So, although this car has been part of the channel on and off for what, 2 years, this is the first time I've ever driven this car on the roads as my car. I've driven it as a company car, but now it's mine, and I've just done my first mile in it. Do I look happy? Yeah, I do. Now, because it's got different wheels to how it started, the tyre walls are a little bit taller. Tyres are brand new on 16-inch TI wheels, but they've got quite a high tyre wall. So there's a good possibility that the Speedo might just be ever so slightly out. So I'm going to just find out now by using my sat-nav. Right, here we go to 30 miles per hour on the Speedo. Oh, and it says 29. So that's not really that wrong, is it? 40, and it's saying 40. That's pretty accurate then, isn't it? Well, I haven't exactly driven directly home, have I? I've been up, the amount of times I've been up here and I've never spotted that tree before. Isn't it brilliant? If you like that kind of thing. Perhaps you prefer this kind of thing. Sounds good, doesn't it? Do you know what? It drives good as well. And I mean, it drives well. It drives great. But it also drives good. It bobs along at quite a speed actually. It's rather effortless. When you're used to driving a diesel most of the time and you get into a small engine petrol car, they often can feel a little bit underwhelming. But the 2 litre petrol, no, it's fine. It's good. And it's got that kind of balance to it that makes it really rather chuckable. It's better than I remember it being. Mind you, it's got better tyres on it. So to celebrate the now my Harry Seacombe, I'm going to have the rest of the day off. We're going to go for a picnic. Now that's a good idea because, well, I mean, it's the school holidays anyway. It's not like we're going to be going abroad or anything like that. So just to have half a day off, find somewhere nice and cool to sit and eat a whole load of sandwiches, seems like a good idea to me. This car, in a couple of days, will be 31 years old. That makes that the oldest car I've ever owned. I've had many a car that was made long before 1992 or 3, but they were that old at the time. That means it's only 9 years off being tax exempt. That might seem like a long time, but it'll come around if I can keep it that long. Consider this, my Audi, that won't be tax exempt for another 21 years, by which point I will be 75. Wow.
I can't to the table. You don't tell me very many words. No? Oh, can you look at the nice ones there as well? Swinging. Look, do you like it? Look how quick I'm going. Wow.
Can you actually be too old to play on the swing? Because I think not. I don't see anything wrong with being an adult playing about on the swing. And the park's empty. It's just me and those people over there. And I'm not taking away a swing from somebody who will enjoy it more. Well, that'd be impossible anyway. If I had a big back garden, I would have a swing and a hammock. I spent longer on those swings than anybody else did, which proves that actually it must be a grown-up toy because it requires some focus, some attention. Harry Seacombe, the car that brought us here today. But have you ever wondered why I called this car Harry Seacombe in the first place? There isn't actually a reason, it was just a name. But now Harry Seacombe is a bit more than that. Harry Seacombe, the opera singer from Wales that was in the Goon Show. What a fabulous guy. Sir Harry Donald Seacombe, CBE, would suggest that I'm expecting a rather positive and cheerful and happy ending with this car. Right, back to the swings. The beautiful town of Hebden Bridge. Even this place isn't safe from the urban culture dispatch of vandalism absolutely everywhere. Oh, this is fine though, because that's on a skateboard park. Why do we have this notion that skateboard parks always have to be vandalised?
$25 to $8.
Conclusion. Why do I need a conclusion on my first day out driving the Rover 620? We don't. I just want to have one. I mean, it's the next day and I've just spent all afternoon being the passenger in an Impreza, and it's been slightly frightening but rather exciting as well. So to be back in this, it's just rather lovely. So a conclusion of my first day in the ownership of this Rover 620 called Sir Harry Seacombe CBE. It's comfortable, it's quick enough, but it does use up quite a bit of fuel. In fact, it's gone through about a quarter of the tank in 44 miles. That's quite a bit, but I'm not really too bothered. If I want economy, I've got an Audi, which I keep promising to stop talking about. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this adventure with Harry, the first of many hopefully, and thank you for being a channel member. That's the most important thing, or a subscriber. Big thank you for that. Big thank you for watching. Big thank you for liking. If you press dislike, there's no thanks from me at all though. Anyway, bye bye. Thursday, 1st of August, a day where I hope not to be considered ridiculous, not because I'm driving around in this automotive clown shoe, but because there is just a possibility that in the 2 miles I have to drive to work, I might just run out of petrol because the gauge is reading nothing, and that's my fault. But this car is going away today for a little while, and I don't want to be putting petrol in it just for it to go stale. Nigel's become a minor MOT failure. Exhaust blowing from somewhere, only slightly, but it is suddenly just blowing. By the lake, not somewhere that I want to run out of fuel, and the fuel gauge is reading nothing. And these fuel gauges don't fuck about. If it says there's nothing in there, there's nothing in there. Anyway, this video isn't about this car, because this car is going to work where it's going to stay unused for a while. 1st of August means new car day. I don't mean brand new car, I mean new car tax day. So I have the choice to drive something else. Wild House Lane. An even worse place to potentially run out of fuel, because look at the road. Fast moving traffic, nowhere to pull over. I ran out of petrol along here once before. Well, I ran out of diesel along here once before in a BMW 5 Series. And that, according to the trip computer, wasn't even that low on fuel. No, I had 98 miles to go. Right, well there's the dangerous bit out of the way. And now all I have to do is roll down the hill and drive into the yard. Nothing terrible can happen from now on.